This is the largest abandoned lunatic asylum in Australia. Welcome back everybody, I'm your host, and today we are going to take a look at one of the most horrific places in all of Australia. We will be taking a look at the Aradatle Mental Asylum. Make sure to leave a like rating on this video and we'll go ahead and get started. So this place is known as the Aradatle Lunatic Asylum, but most people refer to it as Aradatle. It's located in the town of Ararat in the state of Victoria. This former mental asylum is now an abandoned ruin, and it is the largest of its kind in all of Australia. This place was open for 140 years from 1867 to 2008. During its time as a mental asylum, it had a capacity of 1,600 patients. Back when it was first opened, it was said that this asylum was to be a place of last resort, meaning that only the most troubled and violent patients would end up here. The more docile and less violent patients could be treated at smaller facilities closer to where they lived. But this was not always the case, and there were times where overcapacity was a huge problem at Ararat. Before we check out some photos of this place, let's check out some of the history. The land on which the asylum would be built was originally inhabited by the Yara people. The Europeans began to arrive in the area in the 1830s, and the asylum itself was planned to be built in 1867. Construction of the asylum buildings began in 1868, and the asylum was officially opened in 1869. When it was first opened, the asylum consisted of one main building and several smaller buildings. These buildings were used for a variety of purposes, such as housing patients, as well as administrative offices. Over the years, more buildings were added onto the complex, including a hospital, a laundry, and workshops. In 1911, a new wing was added to the main building to accommodate more patients. This was because the asylum had become overcrowded due to the influx of new patients. This new wing consisted of 4 large wards, each of which could house up to 100 patients. In addition to the new wing, a new female nurses' dormitory was also constructed in 1911. By the 1920s, the asylum had become one of the largest employers in the district, with over 200 staff members. The Great Depression of the 1930s saw a decrease in funding for mental health services, and this resulted in overcrowding and understaffing at the asylum. Despite these challenges, the staff at Ararat continued to provide care for their patients. During World War II, the asylum was used to house patients from other institutions that had been damaged by bombing. After the war, the asylum began to close down as mental health treatment moved towards a more community-based model. The grounds of Ararat were finally cleared in 2008 after the last remaining buildings were demolished. Now, throughout its operation, an estimated 13,000 people died here. Those who died were mostly buried in unmarked graves somewhere on the property. There have been many reports of strange activity at the site, including the ghosts of former patients and staff members, as well as demonic and shadow figures seen throughout the grounds. Now, unfortunately, this place has been completely destroyed, so we don't have any photos of what it looked like in its heyday, if you will. But we do have some photos of what it looked like in its later years. As you can see, this place really does look like a zombie apocalypse movie set. This place is absolutely insane, and I am surprised that they didn't turn it into a haunted house or something like that. This would be so cool to check out in person. Unfortunately, like I said, it's been completely destroyed. But if you ever find yourself in this part of Australia, make sure to keep an eye out for this place. If you ever come across any old abandoned buildings, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. I really do appreciate it. But that's gonna do it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like rating on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've been your host, and we'll see you next time.